We have many honorees here this afternoon, but before I get started, I'd just like to take a moment on behalf of the town board to wish everyone an absolutely wonderful, wonderful Christmas, a Merry Christmas, a happy and healthy New Year, a happy Kwanzaa, and those who just finished celebrating Hanukkah. It's been a wonderful festive time. And, you know, I saw something on Facebook just last night, and it was about the fact that this time of the year, people are festive, and there's like this sense of peace and goodwill that everybody seems to be sharing with one another. And he used a word, and he said, I don't know if it's a real word or not. And I said, well, if it isn't, it should be, because it would be nice if we had that feeling throughout the year. So in the spirit of the holidays, sometimes we get caught up in gifts and shopping and everything that, cooking and all the good things of traditions of the holidays. But I'd just like to ask everybody to stop for a moment and recognize how fortunate we really are here in the town of Islip, in the county, in the state, in this country, to enjoy the freedoms that we do, and enjoy your family and friends and loved ones. So today we're going to recognize some really outstanding athletes in the town of Islip, and they're from the hamlet of Islip and some from Bayshore. The Islip High School Athletic Department has a lot to be thankful for this year, and 3 varsity teams took championships this fall. The girls' soccer team, under the direction of Coach Mike Riley, are the Suffolk County Class A champions. And I just asked the town board to please come up and join me. Also in attendance today, we have the chair of the Islip Athletics Department, the director, John Sparacchio. Did I get that right? Oh, terrific. And I see your superintendent, Dr. Semmel, is here. Thank you for joining us. And also from Bayshore, we have Ted Nagengast, who is the athletic department chair, and the athletic director, Bob Panariello from Bayshore, correct? Okay, great. So let's start with the girls' soccer team. As I said, they're under the direction of Coach Mike Riley. Mike, are you here? Oh, please. I'm so glad he didn't come and share it. That was a very nice thing. Thank you, Mike, if you're watching. The girls' gymnastic team, under the direction of Coach Erica Barone, are the 2018 Suffolk County Team Championships and the 2018 Undefeated League Championships. So that's very, very exciting. Come, there's seats up front. And lastly, under the direction of Coach Steve Arey, the girls, is that you?
That's
Ah, perfect.
Just got out of school, sorry.
Not a problem.
Is everything, Steve.
The girls' varsity tennis team is the 2018 League 3 Championships, the 2018 Division 2 champions, the Suffolk County Big 4 champions, and the team placed 4th in the Suffolk County champions. So we really, on behalf of the town board, I'd like to pay a special tribute to one of the varsity team players who, Madeline Germano, there was an article about her in the paper a while ago. Unfortunately, she lost her mom to cancer this time last year, but even though she experienced some health issues herself in the last few months, she overcame those difficulties, showed us to be the true heroine that she really, really is. And Madeline, your courage and your strength are an example to all of us. We're very, very proud of you. So let us bring up the teams for photos, and we have certificates. And let's start with the girls' soccer team. If you would come forward, and your coach and the athletic directors, please.
Congratulations.
Good work, girls.
Okay, so now we have the gymnastics team, which I understand there are some students from West Islip on the gymnastics team, yes? Or that's the tennis team? Bayshore, I'm sorry. Islip Bayshore on gymnastics. Okay, so if the gymnastic team combined would come forward.
Congratulations, everyone.
Okay, so now we have the tennis team. So if you would come forward with your coach.
All right, everyone, right this way, big smile. One more. Great, congratulations.
Let's have another round of applause for these athletes while they're walking out. This is truly what our future is all about, these young, successful, disciplined athletes. Okay, we will begin this afternoon's meeting with our scheduled public hearings for the board's consideration. I'd ask the town clerk to please read the first hearing notice.
Today's hearing is to consider amending the Uniform Traffic Code of the Town of Islip.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kletchka.
Good afternoon, Madam Supervisor, members of the board, Madam Clerk. Peter Kletchka, 401 Main Street, Islip. The Traffic Safety Division has several revisions to the Uniform Traffic Code for your consideration. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them at this time.
Are there any questions?
Nope.
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing and adopt the changes.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Thank you, Peter. Madam Clerk, if you would please read the hearing notice on the second public hearing.
The second hearing is to consider enacting a local law amending Local Law Number 9 of 1974, Office of the Town Attorney of the Town of Islip, and amending Local Law Number 3-2009 entitled Department of Public Safety Enforcement.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran.
Clerk,
Second by Councilman, to close the public hearing and approve. Second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. And we do have a third public hearing today.
Hearing number 3 is to consider contracting with the fire commissioners of the Bayshore Fire District for fire protection services to be furnished by the fire commissioners to the Bayshore Fire Protection District.
We have no cards on this. Are there any questions on this particular hearing? Hearing none, motion?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing and adopt the changes, or adopt the agreement.
Okay, motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor?
Recused.
We have 4 in favor, 1 recusal. That is adopted, and that concludes our scheduled public hearings. We will now move to the public portion. Let's see, we have a number of cards of those who wish to address the board. Again, I would just remind everybody, there is a timer there. Everyone has 3 minutes. It's not a question and answer session. We're here to listen. And there are commissioners here. If you have any specific concerns, we will try to address them individually. So the first,
Madam Supervisor?
Sure.
In the spirit of the holiday season, can we all be very polite when we get to the microphone too today, please?
from your lips to God's ears. That's all I'm going to say on that. That would be lovely. First speaker, Patty Montanino.
I have some documents. Pat Montanino, East Islip, New York.
I want to begin by correcting you, Ms. Carpenter, on your sarcastic remarks in reference to increase your want for yourself. In 2016, 3 of the 5 of you voted by resolution to take a cost of living raise, guaranteed every year. 2 councilwomen voted no, but Mr. Cochran, Mr. Flatteren, and yourself voted yes. If you make $102,500, the increase brings you to $102,807. Instead, you took $103,523. In 2018, you took nothing. So the Social Security benefits for this year are 2.8. So 102,807 times 2.8 is 105,868. So according to your remark at the last board meeting, you, and I need to learn to add, that you're saying we're not allowed to ask and answer. Okay, so which is it? You're really saying that the controller is stupid or he's a scapegoat? And let's not forget your salary plus $80,466 in a pension and your $4,980 in benefits that you get paid for not taking them, plus your Social Security, which brings you up over $200,000. I would also like for the taxpayers to know, the last board meeting, Islip supervisor had it edited for the taxpayers. 2 public speakers were taken out of the viewing on Channel 18. They were put back when I called to tell them it was illegal. One was a taxpayer telling Supervisor Carpenter chooses to illegally park in handicap stalls. The other speaker was a convicted felon, Pete Sedot, who was lured here by Supervisor Carpenter to discredit me. Well, on June 30th, Mr. Sedot entered into a plea agreement with District Attorney's Office, signed a settlement which he pled guilty to grand larceny and scheming to defraud and admitted the actual fraud charges. Okay? And the Bernie Madoff meets the recycling, I suggest that you and Mr. Sedot take that up with Governor Cuomo because he is the one who made that remark. And when the government decides to offer a public comment period at an open meeting, it provides that citizens may exercise their First Amendment rights. Government officials can limit comments to relevant subject matter, control disruptive or overly repetitive speakers, and impose reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions on speech. However, you must live up to the values of the First Amendment.
Thank you very much,
Which you don't.
Mrs. Montanino. I would, there was a few inaccuracies, but I'm not going to go into that. Excuse me, you don't have the floor, but thank you. We really appreciate you coming down. I would just ask the town attorney.
Stop.
I would just ask the town attorney to clarify the record, please.
Okay, certain comments made at the last town board meeting during the public portion, comment did raise some public safety concerns. The video of these comments was referred to the Suffolk County Police Department and was not released until the town was notified by the police department that its release would not hinder the investigation. Other than that, it's a police matter at this time, and there'll be no further discussion on that.
And there was one speaker, not 2.
Correct.
Okay, just wanted to clarify. Thank you. Next speaker, Jeffrey Greenside.
Yes.
Mr. Greenside, just so that you know, I received a copy just today, actually, of your letter to Congressman King on the issue that I think you're here to speak about.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay.
I want to thank the board for giving me the time, and happy holidays to you all. I'm concerned here about the Jeffrey Greenside, Islip Terrace, been here since 1974, and I attended the last meeting in the other pavilion because there were so many people fighting against the chicken slaughterhouse. I have petitions. I saw hundreds of people get up and out of everybody there was not one positive remark for this. I called the zoning board this week, and they told me that there was a postponement from the 60 days that was promised. From the 30 days, it went to 60 days because their lawyer requested it. Now they're getting an addition for us to do a traffic study. I asked the board, why are we going to this when we had professionals from the DEC, from the state, get up and make statements that this will definitely affect the Islip's air quality and water. And the DEC said it's going to put nitrogen in our bay and it's going to kill our fish. And just to let you know that the Queens just put an ordinance in now that slaughterhouses can't be within 1,500 feet of any residence. That's over a quarter of a mile. From that location that they're talking about, there's a park, there's school bus stops, and there's residences all around. The smell of 300,000 chickens coming in or whatever, or 20,000 chickens coming in every other day, and their refuge and whatever, we're talking tons of stuff going into our sewer systems. And I know right now the traffic study, I live on Beaver Dam, there's a firehouse, there's a police department that shoots out of there. And right now, with a park there, the amount of traffic that goes up and down the street, if there's an emergency, we have to depend on our firehouse getting there. If we're going to have a store that opens up and sells chickens to all of the restaurants and in the storefront, we're going to have traffic problems. I also informed Phil Boyle, who said he was going to go further. My main concern was when I spoke to the board, the zoning board, and then they referred me to go to the health department because they don't affiliate themselves or talk to each other. The health department told me, we can't do anything, it's a state thing. I called the state told me, if they do this, they can do that. But I'm just letting you know, in Queens, they made a mandate, now 1,500 feet from any residency. So people know there's a problem, and people that spoke during the last meeting who had chicken slaughterhouses got up and they also stated, I guess they were way out east, they said there's no way possible you're not going to have an effect to your air quality and water. And it's, you know, I think Islip and Suffolk County has made stringent hopes with fertilizers, with chemicals. We try to keep it clean. We want to have a good environment for our children. This is no way, anyway, a positive thing for our county and for our children and our future. So I please ask you to put a stop to this immediately, because I'd hate for us to put the first chicken slaughterhouse in, and because other people are getting rid of them, others might follow. I did my 3 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Greenside, for your research, your very respectful comments, and I know you share the concerns of many. Thank you. Thanks for coming down. Melissa Parrott.
Good afternoon, and I'm Melissa Perrott, Sable, New York. And I want to say happy holidays. I certainly know it's not easy standing up there, sitting up there every month as I'm here. I'd also like to thank you for your continued respectful engagement and time, listening and opening your doors to the Suffolk Student Climate Action Committee. As their mentor and an ISIP resident, I stand before you to ask the same as they do. The students and other residents, like myself, are finding our voice so that we can facilitate change and actions to acknowledge we have an issue and to do something about it, and it's time for Islip to take action. In 2010, the Town of Brookhaven Town Board approved an energy initiative to improve the environment and air quality for residents, not only to reduce CO2 emissions, but also to assist residents by reducing utility bills. In 2013, the Town of Brookhaven launched a major renewable energy project with Supervisor Romaine saying, "This is probably the biggest thing I will do as a supervisor." In 2017, the Town of Southampton passed a resolution to become 100% renewable by 2025. In 2017, the Town of Southampton became a certified climate-smart community, with Governor Cuomo acknowledging them as a model for actions to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and build climate resiliency. In 2010, East Hampton passed a resolution to become a climate-smart community. In 2004, East Hampton Town Board unanimously adopted a resolution to transition to 100% renewable by 2020, with Town Supervisor Cantwell saying, "Making a switch to clean energy is just the right thing to do, both for the environment and for keeping more money in the local economy and creating jobs here." In 2017, the Town of Southold became a clean energy community, with Supervisor Russell stating, "We are proud to earn the Clean Energy Community designation. These initiatives not only help the environment, but also save taxpayers money." Smithtown and other towns are doing similar. Yesterday, Governor Cuomo set out his goals for the first 100 days. New York will become 100% carbon neutral by 2040. This is big. It may seem futile to think a small town on Long Island can affect the change we need to combat increasing effects of climate change. But with many small parts make a whole, and many small parts are doing their part, let's do ours. To quote Governor Cuomo yesterday, extreme weather is a reality. It is obvious across the globe. It is obvious to anyone with a TV. The consequences of our delay are a matter of life and death. If not for us, then for our children. This is not an issue of present inconvenience. It's an issue of future viability. We've been here before for the last 2 years. We stand here today to ask you to create and pass a resolution to become a climate-smart community, to join other towns on Long Island, to become a part of that whole that can reduce our use of fossil fuels and reduce CO2 emissions to help create a sustainable future. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Next speaker, Eric Stenzel.
Hello, Eric Stenzel, Save New York, 80 Amy Drive. I am very happy to be here, leaving school early to get involved in the exciting world of local government. The first thing I want to talk about is the Climate Smart Community Pledge, which is what Melissa just brought up. What you have before you now is a Climate Smart Community Pledge that was unanimously passed by East Hampton Town Board, and it asks us to do some very simple things, and this is a model for what the Suffolk Student Climate Action Committee would like to see the Islip Town Board pass. To read out some of the things that it specifically resolves. 1, pledge to combat climate change. 2, to inventory emissions, set goals, and move to action. 3, to decrease the energy demand in municipal operations. 4, to encourage renewable energy. 5, to realize the benefits of recycling. 6, to integrate climate protection into community planning. 7, to support a green innovation economy. 8, to inform and inspire the public. 9, to evaluate the risks and plan for adaptation. And 10, to commit to an evolving process paralleling current research and policy. These are all things that the town of Islip and all towns, not just in New York, but across this country, should be keeping in mind when they enact any policy, when they be doing anything for their communities. On another note, we would like to reprioritize the goals of the Islip Town Environmental Council onto climate change. There are other very important issues in our local area regarding the environment, but we specifically need to be researching and informing our community about what needs to be done to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. Currently, ITEC is serving a lesser purpose in that regard. It isn't talking about these very important issues. So our specific request to the Madam Supervisor is to ask ITEC to research the things that Islip Town can be doing to reduce its greenhouse emissions so that we can have a plan to set forth for the future. And finally, in this resolution, we would like Islip Town to also support the Climate Community Protection Act at the state level. This is simply a resolution to say that Islip Town supports it. This piece of legislation, the CCPA, is co-sponsored by our state senator Phil Boyle, and it seeks to be the most active environmental legislation in the entire nation, setting goals for New York State to reduce its carbon emissions below what many other states have set. And this resolution in particular is a way for Islip Town to demonstrate that it has a vested interest in this issue, that it is going to take action, and to demonstrate the goodwill that we are going to be putting forth towards solving this crisis. This is a crisis. Climate change is going to be affecting every single one of us in the near future. It is affecting us right now. So what we as the Suffolk Student Climate Action Committee and members of the town of Islip ask is that the Islip Town Board take action, specific guided action on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. About your suggestion that ITEC prioritize the Islip Town Environmental Commission, which, by the way, has been in place for decades, reprioritize their goals and objectives. I just want to remind you and everyone that we have the town board appointed a representative of the Suffolk Students for Climate Change to the ITEC Commission. So this is how you work within the system. I don't think it would be appropriate for us to, as a town board, tell an independent board, as the Islip Town Environmental Commission is,
what they should be doing. They're an advisory board, so I would hope that this passion and enthusiasm and commitment that you all have, you share it with the Environmental Commission, and I have a feeling you will be very successful. And one other note, I just want to let everyone know that our commissioner has taken this issue on very, very seriously. Marty Ballou, the DEC commissioner, he has met with Eric and Harrison, I believe, at length, and really gave them an overview of what the town has done. And the town of Islip, for anyone out there listening, has been very, very forward-thinking. This town learned long ago how to make lemonade out of lemons when we had the Islip garbage barge. This town has been a leader in recycling over the years. And where other towns are struggling now with recycling because they jumped on the single-stream bandwagon a couple of years ago, this town judiciously made the decision to stay the course and stay with separating our recyclables, and it was the right choice for us to make. So I want to publicly thank this town board for being steadfast in their commitment to the environment and to recycling. Thank you, Eric.
Madam Supervisor?
Sure.
That resolution that Eric handed us, that another municipality has adopted, it doesn't look like anything that is too difficult, or most of it actually we've already accomplished. So we might consider putting something like that up. And
well, I'm going to give it
embracing
to our commissioner review, because again, at quick glance, I know that we're already doing probably almost all of it.
Yeah.
And maybe just formalizing the fact that this town board is committed to the issue will put to rest any fears that anyone might have.
Yeah.
Next speaker, Andy Como.
How we doing, guys? Andy Como, Brentwood. I just have two things to bring up. The first one is our pocket parks. I'm not a Facebook kind of a person, but people keep sending me stuff. And it seems like some of our pocket parks that have been named after fallen heroes are falling by the wayside. All right? Some of the people in town are saying they're not being cleaned, there's monuments missing or nameplates missing. So I would ask that the town look into that. All right, because if I'm not mistaken, I think we have probably about 16 of them within the Brentwood School District, and a few of them are named after some of the guys. And the second thing is the $15 million that the governor has said is going to be used in Brentwood. I've been up to constituent services 4 times to try to find out what's happening with it, okay, or how to get on to the committee. And being an activist in my community for the last 45 years, I have not gotten a call back or an email or anything, even though all 4 times they asked me for that information. We need that facility. We need to know what's going to be in the facility. Is it going to be geared towards the kids, geared towards senior citizens, geared towards the community? I've asked the school district if they have been informed. They told me no. I asked Mr. Ballone's office, who is a co-chairperson, and they said they're leaving it up to the town of Islip. So I'm still waiting. You guys all know me. Some of you even have personal information for me. So if I can, I would appreciate some kind of feedback so I could feedback the committees and the meetings that I go to and inform them of something positive. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Andy. And this is something very positive. It's in the very, very beginning of the process. The last I checked, the committee was still being formulated. This is very much being driven by the state, just like the DRI grant for Central Islip. And I would assume that the process will be pretty much, will mirror what has taken place in Central Islip or is taking place in Central Islip, that there was a local planning committee of all the state, not all of, but a majority of the stakeholders in the community, some of the organizations, et cetera, some of the organizations that work in the community. And during the process of deciding where, what, there will be community engagement meetings, public meetings, such as was held at Central Islip High School last month, and another one being planned for early February for Central Islip, where the entire community is invited to come, listen, participate, offer their input. In Central Islip, at the December meeting, there were probably over 300 people in attendance. It broke up into small groups, and people actually had an opportunity to offer suggestions. So again, this is state, comes from the state, the money comes from the state, and that was the, process, or is the process being entertained. Please don't, let me finish. This is the process that is taking place for Central Islip, and I can only assume that that is what will be replicated for Brentwood. It is just the beginning. Next speaker, Peter Sidoti.
I have some papers already.
I got it.
Yes. Hello, Madam Supervisor. Oh, okay, this one? Yep. Hello, Madam Supervisor, Town Board. My name's Peter Sidoti. I'm from Brentwood, 40 Wicks Road. Ooh, great. All right. 40 Wicks Road, Brentwood, New York. I'd like to present the Town Board. Mrs. Montanino, Patricia, she likes bad-mouthing me. I came here with my heart in my sleeve last meeting. I had to do some of my own research. And Miss Montanino, okay, was accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from an elderly town person. Well, I got to prove my credibility, because you're telling me I'm not credible. You're not credible. And it's not my words. This is from the Supreme Court of New York. It's Judge Ralph T. Gazzillo, okay, and this is what he had to say about Miss Montanino. Okay, if you go to page 16, well, I think 14 is where I want to be. Page 14. This is at the end of the trial. This is what the judge had to say about Patricia Montanino. Unfortunately, for Patricia Montanino, the same cannot be said about her presentation. Indeed, it could be argued that this was shameless. Her explanations, excuses, and accounts are individually far from convincing, and when taken as a whole, overwhelm any sense of believability. For example, a review of the stenographics and documentary record alone discuss that, then he explains it on page 14. But if you go to page, I don't have much time, if you go to page 16, this is what the judge has to say about Miss Montanino, who seems to want to judge everybody. But, people that live in glass houses, they shouldn't throw stones. Okay? She acted in a disloyal and dishonest manner, at all times placing her interests first. Moreover, the record is clear that time and time again, she stole from her employer. Here we go. Her schemes were not only nefarious, they were premeditated, planned, ongoing, and multi-faced. And involved hundreds of thousands of dollars, clearly, from an old man. Okay? This is what she stole. If there are any way to steal from her employer, she found it. And the schemes that she employed were only limited to her imagination and her opportunities. Moreover, and besides,
Mr.
the direct
Sidoti, I'm sorry,
evidence,
time's
I gotta
up.
finish, of all her capability and destruction of
Sorry,
evidence.
sir, time's up. Thank you.
Madam Supervisor, may I ask him a question, please?
Sure.
I thought we were not engaging in questions and answers.
Yeah, could you, Mr. Officer, could you hand that to Mr. Sidoti, please?
Sure.
Mr. Sidoti, you've heard the expression, right message, wrong messenger. Have you heard that expression before?
Sure I have.
Okay, do you recognize the document that I've handed to you? I've had copies for all of my colleagues, if they need it, and a copy for the town clerk. You recognize that document I've handed to you?
Yes, I recognize it, yes.
Can I have a copy?
And in fact, you signed it on page 5, and again, the confession of judgment on page 3.
Yeah, I know about these papers.
Okay,
How can I help
I just have one question
Well,
for you, sir.
and I have a
one
question,
question,
too.
please, sir.
All right.
It's a yes or no question. Are you in compliance with the terms of this agreement? Yes or no?
To my best of my ability.
No,
And
that's
let
not
me
a yes
say
or no
this.
answer. That's
Yeah,
not a yes
I am
or
in
no
compliance, and I'll tell you
Okay.
why.
All right, thank
Okay?
you.
Because you had an
Thank you.
employee
Okay,
working
thank you,
for the
sir.
Islip. Wait, no, I gotta talk. My name is being slandered.
I'm sorry, we have not engaged in this kind of back and forth, and we're not going down that road. This is the public portion. Everyone has an opportunity to come forward and say whatever they want,
Okay.
good or
Let me
bad.
defend this.
You've had your 3 minutes.
My-
Thank you,
I
Mr.
know, but
Sidoti.
My
Thank you.
agreement was undermined by the town.
Okay.
No, your time was up then. Thank you, sir. Next speaker, Greg Pepe.
Greg Pepe, Islip. He should learn a little manners, Sidoti. He's a little off the handle. He should respect Miss Montanino, especially when she has the facts right.
I got my facts.
Yeah, how many thousands you robbed from us?
Excuse me,
Where's all that
excuse
plastic?
You're all gonna get thrown out in a minute.
So keep it, tell us, shut up.
Don't.
Excuse me, sir, please. Your comments need to be respectful.
You all gotta stop.
Please, no name calling. Say what you have to say. Thank you.
You're welcome. Last month's board meeting, you censored two of the speakers, but I'm more concerned about what Mr. Santarelli had to say, because I witnessed a similar incident. And before you go down to Suffolk County Police, you could put me to a lie detector, because I'm willing to take it for what I witnessed. This was in the summer 2017 at the CVS Plaza in East Islip. I was parked facing the stores right in front of Costello's Hardware, because Ace Hardware was returning a Craftsman tool. Who comes out of the Dunkin' Donuts was a supervisor, gets into a white vehicle parked in front of that handicap placard that was attached to the concrete pillar support column, all right? And I watched this here. I didn't actually look at it twice. So I'm not saying you don't have a handicap, because at that time I didn't know, and I still don't know. But a lot of seniors that are coming up to me when I meet them in the bank or on the street, they looked at that video and they're wondering if in fact you do have a handicap. And I think you should be honest. If you're occupying a handicapped spot, and I witnessed this, you should be honest with the public, you know? Because a lot of people feel that, you know, that's just not the right thing to do. Secondly, I want to hand in, would one of the officers like to hand this up to the, and this goes to Newsday? What's on this is a term, and I'm referring to what Mr. Jim O'Connor said at last month's board meeting, when a resident from Sayville mentioned about agreements, the term agreement being used between Reckler Equities developer and the town, and he said there is no such agreement. But I'd like to know what the agreement is between Mr. Cochran's company, which performs as an electrical inspector on behalf of the town's building department, conducting electrical inspections. And if we look on the, this was a cover letter sent to Mr. Capriano, who's the Ethics Board chairman over here at Islip at the attorney's office, sent in June 14th, and we can see that it was sent certified registered mail, never heard a response back. And even after speaking to Mike Walsh, the deputy attorney, he says, you know, you're bringing up a very good point. It's a good question about conflict of interest. So I'll continue this. That's all right. We've got a new year coming.
Thank you. Next speaker, Mylin Aguilas.
Mylon August, Sayville. Ms. Carpenter, I'd like to invite you to our January 7th meeting at the Bohemia Civic. It will be hosted at Sycamore Elementary School, and the topic will be the Island Hills development. I've seen other people on your board have attended our meetings. I'd like to see you as well come and attend our meeting to also hear what the community has to say about the Island Hills project and the enormity of its proposal. I understand that Rec Equity Partners is putting out a survey call to members of the community. I've heard from hundreds of people in my community their answers to the survey call. I don't think their answer is going to be any different than the answers that they have received from their hand-picked community meetings. Nobody in my community wants the apartments. It is zoned to the AAA. We would respect and hope that it would stay the AAA as it's zoned for. We are a very quiet community. We don't, come here and scream at your meetings, but we would like to be respected and what our thoughts are in protecting, preserving our community. We had somebody speak about the environment. We have a 100-year golf course. Arsenic and other pesticides were used back predated. We as a community, we're very concerned about the cancer clusters, concerned about with the environment and how it's going to affect the waters. The other thing I would like to see maybe going forward is a moratorium on these large developments. Nobody wants to see 3 and 4 stories backed up in their backyards. We have the Oakdale merge. That's now we had a meeting. There was a meeting hosted a few weeks ago on what they're going to do with the merge and how that's going to impact those that currently live here. So the idea of building these massive apartment buildings and then having to contend with the Oakdale merge, it's not going to be really fair to us residents that live in this community. We're already facing traffic on the Oakdale as it is. To sit there and bring in more apartments and more major developments is really not going to help us. Again, we talk about the environment, concerns about the environment. Yes, this too is a concern for the environment because what is 1,400 apartments going to do to a residential area? Thank you, and I hope to see you on January 7th.
Thank you. Next speaker, Joe Fritz.
Joe Fritz, Brentwood resident. I just wanted to bring to the attention of the board that myself and my brother are here. I see the resolution did make the hopper. I am getting my entertainment this afternoon. The only thing I could suggest, I believe this town board now meets but once a month. At least that's my belief that it does. And in as much as it used to meet twice a month, my suggestion is to increase the amount of time which you could spend speaking and addressing the board be increased from 3 minutes to 5 minutes or 6 minutes, because we're being deprived of that opportunity. This way a person will not get anxious or have to read like Crazy Eddie in order to get their ideas across. The other thing is the other suggestion is, and I say this with a little bit of humor, because I see we have what I call Praetorian guards here. And I think it might be a good idea to not have the Praetorian guards to circle the speaker the moment that person is finished speaking. It's a bit distracting, and it's a little bit of an invasion of space. I think a few moments. I see the reason why it could happen a few moments ago, but I think that in most instances, it really isn't necessary. And to do that is a little bit intimidating. So I think that it's not a bad idea. I want to wish the board a Merry Christmas. I will be ready when the resolution is ready, and I'd like to thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fritz. By the way, you only used half the time you were allotted. And you weren't speaking that quickly.
Speak briefly, though.
Concisely. Helen Kinsilis?
Thank you. Hi, my name is Helen Chrysalis. I'm a Bay Shore resident. I would like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. The reason why I'm here today is there's a property that I would like to find out with the help of the board. I humbly request that you help me find out if there's complaints about the property, and if so, how do I go about finding out? And if there are no complaints, how do I go about getting a letter that there's no complaints with the town? Thank you very much. And if you could assist me with that, I would greatly appreciate it.
Okay, you have all your information on here, including your phone number. We'll have someone get back to you tomorrow.
Thank you very much for your help. I do appreciate it.
You're very welcome, and thank you. Next speaker, Thomas Santarelli.
Santarelli, Bay Shore. I just heard the town attorney make a reference to me of last month's comment.
There was no reference made to you.
Sure there was. I'm not an idiot. I heard you say there was one person and there's an ongoing police investigation. There is no ongoing police investigation. I got a call from the police, the crime section, about when I said to her, is there any law you won't crap on? That's what some flunky from her office made this call. It's not a criminal act, it's civil. You got a problem? Sue me. But don't say publicly that there's you didn't mention my name, but I was one of those two people from last month, okay? She doesn't like it because I exposed her as a lawbreaker, and you should know better than to sit here and say on a record that there's an ongoing police investigation. That police officer and myself talked for quite a while, and let me tell you something, he doesn't like her. And neither does a lot of other people. So it's a joke. Don't have the town call up and make false complaints about me that there's a crime when there isn't. Read the Constitution. You should have done something in law school about that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Santarelli.
So the record's clear, there was no reference made to Mr. Santarelli.
I know that. Thank you. That's all the speakers that have signed up. A motion to close the public portion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman Bergen. The public portion is closed. Okay, the first item on the agenda this afternoon are the appropriation transfers. Any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion. Motion by Councilman O'Connor.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4 in favor, 1 absent. Next item are the bid awards. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 3 in favor, 4 in favor. Next item are the option year resolutions. Are there any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Next item on the board is the authorization to secure and/or clean up certain properties within the town of Islip.
Good afternoon, Madam Supervisor, members of the Town Board, Town Clerk. Taryn Krasinski, Assistant Town Attorney of 655 Main Street, Islip, New York. Number 1, to clean up the premises located at 0 Knickerbocker Avenue in Holbrook. On this property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen.
Second.
Second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Number 2, to clean up the premises located at 1 Oak Street, Central Islip. On this property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris with an unregistered vehicle, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second.
Second.
By Councilman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Number 3, to board and clean up the premises located at 3 Aztec Drive, Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors, an unsecured detached garage with litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Bergen.
Second.
Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 4, to board and clean up the premises located at 5 Laurie Road, Brentwood. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors, an unsecured detached shed with litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen.
Second.
Second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Number 5 has been withdrawn as it is now in compliance. Number 6 has also been withdrawn as it is now in compliance. Number 7, to board up the premises located at 215 Gibbs Road, Central Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Number 8, to board and clean up the premises located at 455 Clayton Street, Central Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsecured window and door, an unsecured detached garage with high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Taryn. And since last month, there was a house that was taken down on Grant, and a number of us were able to be there that morning. It was very interesting. One of the neighbors came out and was jubilant over the fact that this eyesore that had been in the community for many, many years finally did come down. So thank you for your efforts. Next item on the agenda is a meeting of the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency. I would call for a motion for the board to convene.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are convened, a quorum being present. Mr. Mannix.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the agency board. William Mannix, Executive Director, Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency, 40 Nassau Avenue, Islip. I have a number of items for your discussion today, the first of which is approval of the minutes of the November 20th meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
I have three new projects to present to you today, the first of which is an inducement resolution for Ultraflex International. Ultraflex is a manufacturing company. They manufacture heat induction equipment that is used in the industrial process. They are currently leasing space in Ronkonkoma. They are looking to buy a small industrial condo unit right around the corner from where they presently are, which will allow for the company to grow. They are a small manufacturing company. They currently employ 14. They will be looking to create 3 new jobs. The investment is just shy of $2.4 million.
Are there any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor.
Second.
Second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Next item is a preliminary inducement resolution for Certified Interiors. They are currently located in Holbrook. They're looking to purchase 300 Rabbro Drive in Hauppauge for their expansion. They are a manufacturer, wholesale distributor, and installation and construction company centered around office furniture. They currently employ 53 people. They'll be creating an additional 20 jobs and investing $9.2 million in the project.
Questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Next item is preliminary inducement resolution from Multidyne Electronics. They are currently located in Islandia. They will be looking to purchase 35 Hoffman Avenue, if the name is familiar. We saw them a few years ago when they were a company as small as Ultraflex, which was the item we did just previously. They have grown rapidly, and they will be purchasing a new building. They currently employ 22. They'll be creating an additional 11 jobs, and we will be terminating the original project that we did with them. And I'm sorry, they're a manufacturer of electronic relay equipment that is found in the broadcast industry.
Any questions?
No.
Motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second
Second.
by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Next item on the agenda is an authorizing resolution for Edgewood Energy. We introduced this project at our last meeting, and this is a peaking power plant up in the Edgewood-Brentwood area.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved.
Next item is an authorizing resolution for New York Tent. This project will result in the acquisition of 1401 Lakeland Avenue in Bohemia and the growth of New York 10, and we introduced the project at our last meeting.
Questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Next item on the agenda is a resolution amending an existing agreement between the agency and U.S. Alliance Paper and Heartland Boys. This is an amendment to a number of documents, including the pilot agreement.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen,
Second.
second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved.
The last item on the agenda is an authorizing resolution involving the Cornerstone at Hauppauge. This is a senior living facility located in Hauppauge. We've already closed on this project. It's under construction right now, but they have acquired a paper road from Suffolk County. They will be adding the acreage for that paper road into the original parcel, and we must amend all of our agreements in order to accommodate that.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nothing further.
It is
Move to
approved. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilwoman Bergen. We stand adjourned. Thank you. Next resolution, or next item, is the Town Board resolution, actually permitting the Town of Islip Animal Shelter and adopt the Pet Center to accept monetary and non-monetary gifts. Any questions? No questions? Motion?
I'm sorry, I do have one question. I don't see is there a limit on the monetary? Because I couldn't find one.
There's not.
No monetary limit?
Oh, there you go. Start writing those checks. Any other questions? Motion?
Motion.
A motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next item is an authorization for supervisor to execute a management services agreement for 2019 between the Town of Islip and the Islip Resource Recovery Agency for the provision of solid waste support systems in the town. Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next item on the agenda is the meeting of the Town of Islip Resource Recovery Agency. Call for a motion to convene.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Mullen. We are convened, quorum being present. Mr. Baloo.
Madam Chair, members of the agency board, my name's Martin Ballou. I'm president of the Resource Recovery Agency, 401 Main Street, Islip, New York. I have a couple items on the agenda today. First one is the approval of the minutes of the November 20th, 2018 agency board meeting.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor,
Second.
second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Meeting minutes are approved.
The next one is a resolution authorizing the execution of a management services agreement for 2019 between the Islip Resource Recovery Agency and the Town of Islip for the provision of solid waste support systems in the Town of Islip.
Same resolution that we did number 7 earlier ago. So the town board approved it, now the agency is approving it.
Absolutely.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved.
Next is a resolution authorizing the president to enter into a contract between the agency and the Germano and Cahill PC to provide general legal and litigation support services for 2019.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved.
Next one is a resolution authorizing the town attorney and/or the agency counsel to act on behalf of the agency when appropriate to protect the agency's interest in matters.
Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor. Second.
Second.
By Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved.
Resolution, the next one is a resolution authorizing the president to enter into a contract with DeVerker and Bartolucci Engineers and Architects, PC, to provide professional and technical services for monitoring, sampling, and reporting of greenhouse gas, landfill gas, and volatile organic compounds at the Blydenburg Road and Lincoln Avenue landfills for the calendar years 2019, 2020, and 2021.
Any question? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor. Second.
Second.
By Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. There is no other business.
Will we adjourn?
Motion to adjourn by Councilman O'Connor. Second. By Councilwoman Bergen. We stand adjourned. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, members of the board, and everybody attending, Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you so much. Same to you. Okay, next, item 9, authorization for supervisor to enter into an agreement with the Bay Shore Brightwaters Rescue Ambulance to provide ambulance services to the district for the 2019 year. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is approved. Next item is an authorization for the supervisor to enter into an agreement with the Brentwood Legion Ambulance Service, Inc. to provide ambulance services to the Brentwood Volunteer Ambulance District for the 2019 year. Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next is an authorization for the supervisor to enter into an agreement with Exchange Ambulance Corporation of the Islips to provide ambulance service to the Exchange Ambulance of the Islips Ambulance District for the 2019 year. Question? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second.
Second.
By Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next item is an authorization for supervisor to enter into an agreement with the Community Ambulance Company to provide ambulance services to the Sable Community Ambulance District for the 2019 year. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second.
Second.
By Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 13, authorization for supervisor to enter into an agreement with the Central Islip Hop-Up Volunteer Ambulance to provide ambulance services to the Central Islip Hop-Up Volunteer Ambulance District for the 2019 year. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Is approved. Next item on the agenda is the special events. A short special events calendar.
10
No
mile run is not
questions?
short. Motion.
Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next item is an authorization for supervisor to amend an agreement with MTech Consulting Engineers to provide professional engineering design services for the upgrade to the existing mechanical, electrical, and plumbing and fire protection systems within the main terminal at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next, item 16, authorization for supervisor to execute an agreement with ICF International for the purpose of providing professional consultant services for the development, implementation, and improvement of the airport's air service development program for Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 17, authorization for supervisor to execute an agreement with John Giamatti Consultant to provide professional services to Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 18 is an authorization for the supervisor to amend an existing agreement with Hawthorne Global Aviation Services to include improvements to the Aero Trades parcel and the Whitney hangar at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 19, authorization for the supervisor to execute a quitclaim deed from the Town of Islip Community Development Agency to the Town of Islip for the real property located at 4 Harrison Place in Bay Shore. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next is an authorization for the supervisor to execute a professional services agreement with Michael Siniski for the second one-year extension to provide services and updates to the Assessor's Office software programs. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullins, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next is an authorization for the supervisor to enter into an agreement with the Islip Arts Council to provide management and operation services for the Islip Town Art Museum. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Bergen, second. Second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 22, authorization for the supervisor to enter into an agreement for various recreation programs to be held throughout the Town of Islip, which will be funded by registration fees. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next item, authorization for the supervisor to enter into an agreement with Vicki Luckman to provide PACE arthritis exercise classes at Town of Islip Senior Centers. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullen, second. Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 24, authorization for the supervisor to enter into an agreement with John Walters to provide musical entertainment at the Town of Islip Senior Citizen Centers during various events throughout the year. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 25, authorization for the supervisor to apply for and accept funding from Suffolk County Office for the Aging for the purpose of providing continued funding for a nutrition program for senior citizen residents of the Town of Islip. Questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullins, second. I'll second that. All those in favor? Wait a minute, I don't want to second it.
I'll second it.
Okay. Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 26, authorization for supervisor to apply for and accept funding from Suffolk County Office for the Aging for the purpose of providing continued funding for residential repair program. Any questions?
Motion.
Hearing none. Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. We're on item 27, authorization for the supervisor to enter into an agreement with South Bay Paddle Wheel Cruises to provide 5 full-service sunset dinner cruises on the Great South Bay with the Lauren Christie from the Bay Shore Marina. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 28, authorization for supervisor to execute an agreement with David R. Maltz & Company for professional auctioneer services. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullins, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next item, authorization for the supervisor to execute a professional service agreement with the Lyro Group for site plan review for commercial development within the Town of Islip. Any questions? Motion?
I'm sorry, I had a question.
Certainly. Councilman?
Chair, I'm sorry I didn't ask this during the briefing. I noticed that the hourly rate is set forth in the resolution. Is there any cap?
Well, the cap is, hold on a second.
Not to exceed, I see it, in the I see it. Okay.
132,000.
Thank you, thanks.
Okay.
132,000.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 30, Authorization for supervisor to execute a contract with Conway Marine Construction for contract DPD 718, Bay Shore Marina bulkhead renovation and utility improvements. Any question? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next item is an authorization for supervisor to enter into an agreement with Suffolk County Department of Public Works to install a traffic signal on Fifth Avenue, County Road 13, Drexel Avenue, and New Hampshire Avenue in Brentwood. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullins, second
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 32, authorization for supervisor to enter into contract with Edwards and Company to perform insurance brokerage services and assist the town with many other insurance-related tasks. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullins, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next item is an authorization for the supervisor to enter into an agreement with Nelson and Pope Engineers and Surveyors for design and construction oversight services for the community skate park at Roberto Clemente Park project. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
You make that.
I can't. It's authorizing me.
I'll make it.
Okay, thank you.
I'll
I'm
second.
so glad. A motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? And that will be an exciting happening for the community,
wanna
the
do
skate park. Yeah, I know, and I appreciate that. At Roberto Clemente. That will absolutely complement the pool that was open this past summer, and hopefully this summer we'll see the opening of the spray park. So it really is an exciting time for Brentwood and the entire town, for that matter. Next is the final item, an acceptance of a monetary donation of $1,000 to be utilized towards further improvements to the Nicholas Fritz Memorial Soccer Field at Roberto Clemente Park. And his brother Joe is here. Thank you for being here today. Are there any questions on this?
Thank you for your donation.
Yes, thank you. And I will make that motion.
Second.
Motion and a second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is unanimously approved. Thank you so much.
Move we adjourn?
I just wanted to give this to the town board clerk.
Oh, thank you.
This is the check.
Oh, the check.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a nice holiday.
You too have a wonderful Christmas. And I think we'll be setting a meeting up soon so that we can have your input on how we
Well,
proceed.
I think that it'll complement the spray park, it'll complement.
It's going to be great.
So I have
It
no
is.
problem with that.
Okay.
It'll be a definite improvement. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Motion to adjourn.
Motion?
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman Mullen. We stand adjourned. Thank you.